How's it going? Got another video for you guys today. Today we're going to be doing the 10 things that I hate about my RX7. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, and I figured it would be cool and interesting to just kind of give you more of a deep dive on the car. We kind of did a runaround of the car initially so you guys can like understand what the car is and whatnot. But I want to get more in depth with some specific things. So we've got goods and we've got bads. Today we're going to go over the 10 things that I dislike or hate about this RX7. So the first thing I hate about the RX7 is these rocker panels. They are rusty and they've got holes behind them and they're very weak. You can see some holes there. And these lower quarter panel pieces. So none of this right here is actually even metal. It's just tape that's squished to resemble the angle and curvature of the factory rear lower quarter piece. And it's the same on the passenger side. So quarter panel's the same way. You know, you can see right up in there. It's all cracking and stuff. And then this rocker panel, excuse me, same way. You can see there's just a tape line of where the tape is. So I would say the number one thing that I hate about the RX-7 is just the rust on the quarters and the rocker panels. And for the second thing that I hate about the RX-7, which you can't currently see it right now, but this cover for the timing chain, it leaks. This cover is a stamped cover and it sucks, honestly. And what it does is it ends up leaking. And this kind of is the fault of that front cover and the oil pan. So the oil pan and that front cover are just stamped steel. They both aren't made to the highest quality. So in my opinion, I just feel that those are the reasons that they leak. I feel that if I got a set of like machined ones or like a cast piece that especially for the front cover, I feel like if it was cast, it wouldn't have that issue. And then for the oil pan, if I got like a fabricated oil pan or something else, that it would probably help, because the oil pan gasket goes around the bottom of that timing chain cover. So that would probably be my biggest gripe. It's just I hate oil leaks, and that usually leaks. So, and the third thing I hate about the RX-7 is actually on the inside, and it is limited headroom. So with the helmet on, you can see I've got some of that like tape that I have here on the floor. I have it on the sides of the roof next to the sunroof, just because when you're in here with the helmet on, what tends to happen is your helmet is bashing up against that, and it will mark the helmet up, and it also just hurts your head when you're hitting your head off of the ceiling. So I would definitely say that the low ceiling, like the low roof height, is very annoying. That would definitely be the third thing I hate about the car. But just for normal street driving, it's not too bad. I'm like 5'8". The only time that it's really an issue for me is when I have a helmet on. And for the fourth thing about the RX-7 is under the hood here, and it is an issue that I have with the engine. So this engine, we fully rebuilt it and upgraded it, and because last time it had bad bearings from an issue that I ended up causing. But it seems as if something isn't right, because I have shiny dust inside the oil. So granted, the engine really hasn't even been broken in, I guess. You know, it probably has, 6 hours maybe of runtime on it. but, well, maybe 8. But I've done plenty of oil changes, and it seems like every time that I dump the oil, it's shiny. I do run a high zinc content oil. I run Valvoline VR1, and I don't know if the shininess that I'm seeing in the oil is from the zinc in the oil or if it's something in the engine. I'm led to believe that it is the front cam bearing, just because when we tore the engine apart for the rebuild, the front cam bearing was worn on that one. And when we replaced it, I think that it's wearing again. So I think that the cam holes aren't exactly true, but the oil dust issue would definitely be the next thing I hate. And for number 5, it would be that the exhaust is very low. The exhaust on this car, there's really nowhere to put it. And it kind of sucks because with the V8 and having dual exhausts, you can't run them down right below the drive shaft, which is where they normally ran them on this car, because it was just a single exhaust run. You know, there wasn't 2 pipes, it was just one. So with any V8 RX7, you have this issue, and it kind of sucks because, you know, you can't really lower it all that much and drive it around. So I would say that yeah, the 5th thing that I don't like about this car would be that the exhaust is so low. But realistically, there's just not much you can do about it. You could do like an oval exhaust, and that would definitely help. But I think that you'll still have that issue. And then for number 6, we have this side window trim. And this is a really common RX-7 issue. These side trim pieces will crack over time, and then by the looks of it, what happens is water gets trapped down in the cracks, and then it will sit there and it rusts the metal out. So not only is the trim cracked, then the metal underneath it ends up rusting, and then that's what you're left with. So, and it happens on both sides, obviously. They're manufactured the same way. Some cars are better or worse than others. This one's really bad. You can see here, I mean, it's just literally a hole in it. When this started like cracking, the previous owner of the car put like silicone over it. And then I think what happened is the silicone ended up trapping more of the water in, and then it just really rotted it out, as you can see there. So sometimes what people do is they'll peel the plastic off in the early stages, and then they'll sand all the metal to get it nice and smooth and paint it. Unfortunately, this set is too far gone to be able to do that, but that is an option. You can still buy these new from Mazda, but I'm not sure if you can go to the dealer and buy them, but I know that they still manufacture them, and other resellers like Adkins sells them, but they're really expensive. So it's best to just find a set that isn't rotted. Then you can just sand it down, paint it, and move on. And number 7 would be the little dents that are inside the Turbo 2 hood. So you can see them here and here and here. There's just a bunch of teeny tiny dents. Looks like hail or something. Realistically, if you just took some body filler, skimmed over the whole hood, and used a board sander on it, it would probably look really great. But the car just isn't at that stage yet. You can see some body filler right there, actually. There was a pretty good sized dent in this, and I did get it out. You know, it's nowhere near as noticeable as it was. You can see right here's a little low spot, but I would definitely say that the little dents do annoy me for sure. Just because I did get such a good deal on the hood, obviously it's okay. And I think I paid $250 for this hood, and I don't even think you can buy these plastic inserts for $250. So, aluminum hood, you know, it is what it is. It was definitely worth the $250, but the little dents do suck for sure. And for number 8, the 8th thing that I hate about this would be this gas door or the gas tank, basically the fuel system in this car. So I'll have to unlock this here in a minute, but what basically happens is when I'm drifting this car, and I'm drifting it so that the car is drifting like this, the fuel comes out of the tank up the gas line. I don't know really what to call it, the filler neck. It comes up the filler neck and out the door. Even with the gas cap tightened, it just flies right out of the gas cap. I've done some research, and it seems that it's not like it's only my car that does it. There are other people that have documented that same exact thing happens on their cars. But if you come over here, my easy solution for now was literally you just take the gas cap off. I even tried a different gas cap. This is off of a Honda. It still didn't work. I literally just fill this hole with plastic, wrap it around this, and I put it in here and tighten it up. And this so far has stopped that issue with the fuel coming out. So I'll have to retighten that back up. I need to look at it because it won't thread in correctly. But yeah, I would definitely say that this is super annoying because when you're driving the car, sliding it around, the gas is literally coming out of here normally without the plastic, you know. So definitely sucks. Now for the 9th thing that I hate about this RX-7 is 100% my own fault, but this car has a welded differential, and that causes a really big problem when it comes to moving it around the shop, because every time you want to move it, you basically have to start it and do so by driving it. The welded diff won't turn at all. It does not like turning. So when you turn the front wheels and you try pushing it backwards, it fights you really bad. It's just pretty annoying, but it is what it is. I would rather have a diff that consistently is locked versus something that may not lock up on me. But it is just annoying because when I'm moving it around in the shop, I can't move it around very easily. And I'm not sure when that video is coming out. I think it may be before or after this one. But the car is going to a mall, or went to the mall, and I had to undo one of the axles just so that I could be able to push it around inside the mall. Luckily, this differential has half shafts that go into the diff, and then your outside axles bolt to the half shafts. So I can just take the axle out and then move the car around. But I would say under normal circumstances, it's very annoying. And the 10th and final thing I don't like and hate about my RX-7 is not on this side. Normally that one flaps around, but again, it's my fault. The car is very weak in the front. It doesn't have a crash support currently, and these fenders are very annoying. They don't have any support on the bottom, and this front, same deal. So when we were out ice drifting it like a month ago or so, the fender was just bouncing around and it slaps on the inside, and it sounds really terrible in the car. It's very annoying. I need to, and the reason that I can't just bolt it up on the bottom of these fenders like factory is because the metal that is behind there is bad. You know, it's just rotted away, just like the rest of the rocker panel, where the front of the rocker panel where the fenders bolt to, it's just bad. So that would be the 10th and final thing that is a big enough deal for me to hate about this car. So there we are. We've got the 10 things that I hate about this RX-7. They're not make it or break it at all. I do love this car. I would say out of all the cars that I have, this is probably my favorite currently. It's just a blast to drive. It's honestly amazing. Just having a car that's purpose-built. It has one purpose for what it is, and it's to drive. So although it does like look pretty, from 10 feet away or whatever, and it's just part of me, it's who I am, and it's lowered and stuff. Yeah, it's really hard to beat, and it's a great car. So yeah, the rusty rocker panels, the flapping fenders, that's my fault. The issue with the fuel coming out the door, it's just stuff that happens. I did look into the tank vent, and the tank is venting just fine, so I don't know exactly what it is. It's not like it's pressurized. I don't know that fuel issue, but like I said, we got that in there, it solves it. So, but yeah, there's the 10 things I hate about my RX-7 drift car. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. I'm going to do a video on this about the 10 things that I love about it. So I feel like it evens it out, Alright, see you guys later.